Hello everyone, welcome to Movie Opinions again, and here I'm with a guest. That's Daniel.
I'm the guest.
And we're going to talk about Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Once again, written and directed by our favorite person, George Lucas.
He did a really, really great job with this. I think it's safe to say.
Yes, he made another CGI-filled disaster mess, only this time with romantic love dialogue. That's how would you describe it?
Well, it's like sand, in that it's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere, yes. So in Attack of the Clones, it's 10 years after the Phantom Menace. Anakin is grown up now, and now he's a whiny brat who is very arrogant and is not a very nice character at all, and you don't like him at all.
More or less. Yeah. And there's also some plot developments have occurred, I'm sure. They're referred to, never explained, but
yeah.
It's implied that they happened.
Yes, of course. And then there's also Padme, who's still there. She's looks the exact same as she did 10 years ago. She hasn't aged, but Anakin has. Now they're going to fall in love because the plot demands it.
So then we get this wonderfully contrived visit to Camino, where we meet a bunch of long-necked aliens who are also cloners.
Yeah, they clone people.
Yeah, working for a long-dead Jedi. Never explain who he is.
Yeah, they don't bring that up again. They bring up this guy, and he's just like, hey, remember him? No? Well, let's just let the expanded universe stuff do it, because even though it's not canon, you're probably going to like it more than this movie. Because this movie's not very good.
Then we get Jango Fett, who's, not that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
The scale of things. But, well, I don't know about him. He's got 200,000 clones made out to himself.
Or like 1 million or something like that. And,
1 million, that's right.
And he's got and he tries to kill Padme with killer worms.
Mm-hmm. Although easily my favorite part of this movie is the entire plot revolves around a major galactic republic that doesn't have an army.
Yeah, you'd think that even if a republic is at peace, they would at least have some kind of army for defense or something like that.
Most republics do.
Yes. And of course, the acting in this movie is something you would of course love, as Hayden Christensen is now Anakin. And he occasionally talks with an accent, sometimes he doesn't. Most of the time he's yelling and complaining that he doesn't have what he wants, and
a beautiful, realistic performance. I can say that, if there was this elite group of guardians who were protecting everything in the universe, I would definitely want someone whose biggest concern is the nature of sand to be in control of it.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
And we'd also want him to be a creepy stalker of a girl who's 5 years older than him.
Yeah, that's another weird thing. There seems to be a bit of a disconnect between reality and Anakin. Most of the time, his face is just, it's something like this.
And then other times, when he decides to stare at Padme all creepily, he's like, sorry, my lady. So, yeah, Anakin is a creeper, and Padme is kind of not into him, but somehow, I guess Anakin pressures her to be into him because there is no chemistry between these two. It's the most forced love story ever.
I was saying, when we were watching this, that I don't even think it's possible that they hated each other, because that would prove that there was some emotion existing between them. Yeah. But I imagine that Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen, they'd never met each other.
Yeah.
And they just sort of went on stage and read their lines and said, okay, so should we try it for real this time? And then said, nah, it's done. George Lucas was like, cut, we're done.
And the dialogue itself is probably, it tries to be this pseudo Shakespeare-like stuff, but it just comes off as pretentious, ridiculous, unrealistic. Would anyone ever say, when they're telling someone they love them, I truly, deeply love you? No, you would not.
There are some beautiful moments, though, especially when Anakin and Padme decide to become, quote, refugees
Yeah.
from a non-existent refugee crisis. So
Yeah.
naturally, she dresses in her queen's robes
Yeah.
and boards a refugee ship. No one will realize that
Yeah.
the queen is on that
Yeah,
ship.
when they're going to hide away on Naboo, they're just like not trying to blend in at all. I mean, I can kind of buy that Anakin would be sort of a refugee from a non-existent thing that would create refugees, but she's a queen. I just know.
We've also got the title.
The
which
title.
is interesting.
Yeah, the title is called Attack of the Clones. The Attack of the Clones is the final 20, 30 minutes of the movie. It's not the overall plot like the other Star Wars movies are. Like, you know, the Empire Strikes Back, the Empire is striking back. It'd be kind of be like if you called, I don't know, if you called the original Star Wars.
Well, you could have called Avengers 2 Scarlet Widow and the Hulk.
Scarlet Witch. No, Black Widow.
Oh, wait, Black Widow.
Not Scarlet Witch.
I don't know why I messed that up.
But yeah, it'd be like if you did that, because Attack of the Clones it doesn't even work. And even then, in the final act, the clones aren't really attacking so much as they're defending. It should be Attack of the Drones.
They could have attacked the drones. They could have called it though Revenge of the Sand. That would have been fitting.
Yes.
As we know, sand.
It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
Hayden Christensen has taught us so much.
Yes.
In fairness, there are two things I really liked about this movie. Maybe three. I think Jango Fett was kind of cool. That was
Yeah.
a sort of cool fight scene in some ways.
Yeah.
Some of the sets were pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
This is going to end up being 4 things in total. But the final battle with the clones, I like that. And Count Dooku, I like Count Dooku. He doesn't do anything cool, but I like him.
Yeah. Yeah, the one cool part about this movie for me was the final fight where, like, we saw the Jedi fighting the drones. That was pretty cool. But, you know, the final lightsaber duel between, like, Dooku and them all was kind of underwhelming. Nothing
Dooku
really
and,
happens. And, like, the others.
And,
And why does Yoda have to wield a lightsaber? That goes against everything that Yoda is. He's like this, use this before you use this.
oh, you know,
And this-
Yoda's a hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
Well, anyways, I don't know how your rating system works. So
It's like percentage out of
this-
between what
Oh, it's
happened. Yeah.
percentage?
Well, one more thing I have to mention. The overuse of CGI from Phantom Menace is back, and there's so much of it that when I actually saw a practical set, I was like, this is a breath of fresh air.
We haven't talked about Grotto yet.
Oh, yeah. Would you care to talk about
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So I really don't understand this, but they have just this, like, really blatantly anti-Semitic stereotype character that I can't understand what purpose
Yeah.
he serves. And then,
He was in the Phantom Menace also, and he's back here. I didn't really point this out there. I kind of forgot to, but
you know,
Yeah.
long nose, like, whatever. I don't know.
and he has this like he actually Googled Star Wars anti-Semitism, and he was the
First thing that comes up. Speaking of stereotypes in Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks is back.
Thankfully, he's only in like 3 scenes.
Although with no qualifications whatsoever,
To become,
Padme decides to make him a senator, to
Why-
appoint him a senator.
Why does he even stay with Padme? He's a cartoon rabbit thing that talks like, yeah, Misa Jaja thing.
Misa Jaja.
Doobie doobie doobie.
No, that's accurate. 100%. He has no qualifications, yet somehow he's part of the Queen's entourage,
Yeah.
and now he's randomly appointed a senator?
Yeah.
I'm
It was hard for me to like this movie because I didn't like this movie at all. It wasn't as painful as the Phantom Menace because I found the Phantom Menace was really boring. This one was just obnoxious and annoying the more you watch it. Yet it's somehow in a strange way a little more entertaining, but in a way it's a worse film than the Phantom Menace. I find like you think Phantom Menace is worse, you know, I can understand that. But you know, this isn't exactly a movie I liked. And it was, you know, very bad writing, very bad acting, its stuff doesn't make sense, hypocritical to the other movies, and a bunch of plot points go nowhere, overuse of CGI. It has a few cool moments, but they're few and far between, and overall they don't save this movie from getting a pretty bad score from me. So my percentage, I'm going to give this movie, I was actually a little too lenient on the Phantom Menace, I'm going to re-edit that. But
What did you give The Phantom Menace?
I initially gave it like a 50%, but that was way too high for me. But anyway, this movie for me gets a 30%.
I would be a little bit more generous and give it a 37.5. Because I couldn't decide between 35 and 40.
That's understandable. Yeah, it's not exactly something that I want to remember, but because it's Star Wars, I kind of, you know... It's not a good movie.
What can you do?
Yep.
It is Star Wars, though.
These prequels will never not exist. They're with us for the rest of our lives.
Maybe Force Awakens will will them out of existence.
Or maybe they'll remake them.
I guess it's possible.
That wouldn't be bad, actually. But yeah.
Not a bad story, just awful execution.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it.
Georgie boy.
So, thank you all for watching this. And if you like this, you know what to do by now, because you've been on YouTube for a while.
And say hello to my friend, George.
This is for you, George Lucas. I would attack
Sword swallowing.
This is you, Lucas. This is you.
Goodbye.
This is you, Lucas. This is you. Ah!
That devolved quickly.
Adios, home slices.